Keep going. Okay, now go. Now go. Move.
Welcome to couch streaming.
Couch co-op.
Oh, couch co-op. We have been wanting to learn how to speed run. So today we have Steven here who is going to teach us how. Oh man, I forgot about the thing I was supposed to do. I'm sorry. Look, they're wearing Kirby shirts.
Yes, yes.
I don't got one.
Strategic
and I'm
shirt wearing
sad.
today.
Yeah.
Strategic. Oh my.
Strategic, yes.
Yes, I am Steven. I'm one of the programmers here at Brace Silk Games, but in a past life, I used to do some speedrunning stuff. So today, I'm going to demo a game that I feel like doesn't get enough love in the general speedrunning scene, which is Kirby Super Star. I won't be playing the entire game, just Great Cave Offensive, because that's the most fun and interesting part of it. But yeah, let's kind of get right to it.
Before we do that, let's say hello to the people in the chat room.
Yes, we have one-legged seagull.
One-legged seagull. That's great.
Piet?
Oh, that's Paul.
Oh, is that Paul? He says,
We don't- it's
Paul
fine.
says Corby.
Corby!
He says
Okay.
it twice. And Kimchika.
I don't know who Kimchika is.
Yeah, hey.
Hey, Kimchika.
She said, they say that we have Link's Awakening energy.
Oh, yeah. I would really love to play that, but maybe the next stream, Steven can practice and make
We're
notes
making
and then
promises
do
already.
that.
Yeah, maybe like a year from now. Or
Yeah, but that's so long.
I have a full-time job. It's hard to learn how to speedrun new stuff.
Fine. All right, but let's get to it.
Yes.
Okay, so Kirby Super Star. So, part of what I'm going to be doing is showing how to run this game, which first thing you should know is double tap to run. Most people don't like it, but it's great. But moreover, I want to talk about why I think this is a good game for speedrunning. And probably, did I get it? No. Probably the first thing that I like most about this game is the fact that like it's a relatively straightforward game to play, but trying to go fast makes the game... Oh my goodness, that should have worked. Trying to play fast makes the game significantly more challenging. So, there we go. Oh, what?
Is it supposed to kill the sunflower?
No, it's supposed to kill the level geometry. I'm not getting the
Oh.
angle right. No. What am I doing wrong here? I think I should be moving forward with it. I'm gonna blame the HDTV. Input lag. Man, okay. I swear this is like not normal. I can always get this every time for some reason. What am I doing wrong? Anyway, basically what's happening is I'm trying to bypass the enemy spawning. There we go. I'm trying to bypass the enemy spawning because the enemies spawn in based on your location, but the level geometry spawns as soon as you enter the screen. And so as a result, you shoot the enemy, and then it bypasses the enemy before it spawns, and then when you move forward, it's ready to touch the piece of level geometry and break it. So you can kind of bypass that. Also, I was supposed to start the splits, but you know, whatever. Anyway.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's what it's for. I asked you if I could press some buttons. You said no.
Well,
See?
because I was supposed to press the buttons. I
If you
failed.
had told me to press the button,
I'm taking full responsibility for this here.
but I wanted to
Don't press the buttons.
So anyway, generally speaking, in action games like this, your main thing is trying to figure out your fastest way of movement. And Kirby Super Star is fantastic because there are a ton of really cool movement options in this game. One of which is the wing cower, which I'm using right now. But for the most part, what you're going to be doing is doing Kirby's Run, which is just double tap. And then whenever you go off a cliff, you want to use the slide move because normally the slide has a bit of a delay when you do it at the end of it. But if you go off a cliff, it cancels it right away. So, anyway, yeah, it's going to be kind of awkward because I'm not used to explaining stuff as I'm playing. But,
Well, Andy asks, is there any difference between the SNES and the SNES Classic version?
not as far as I can tell. Oh my goodness, that guy was spawning in a weird spot there.
And lots of people are here to make sure that we get the Kirby facts straight.
Lots of people being Paul?
No, we've got, who else we got in here now? Kitty Cat Gamer, Andy Harder, Sixth Row, Zero Stas, who else? Joust the Drawbarian. That's in the season. Kill
Hi, Jessie.
1. Some guy 16.
Some guy.
Some guy.
Is he just some guy?
16.
16? Is he 16 or is he 16?
Some guy 16. Are you 16?
Or he
Let us
could
know in
be
chat.
one of 16 of the
One
some
of-
guys. There could be some guy 14.
We've got Link Yop, Latch, Kyle Lee 21. Oh god, so many.
So when did you decide that you wanted to do speedrunning?
In high school, I saw a video of somebody doing the 16-star run of Super Mario 64. And I was just like, that's so cool, I want to do that. Or no, actually I guess the first one I saw was the Super Mario Bros. 3 Morimoto run that a lot of people know about. Hold on, boss quick kill, boom.
Whoa, what?
So part of what makes this game...
You kind of have to at least let us know,
Prep us for
like,
that.
oh,
we
the
weren't
boss is
ready.
coming.
We weren't ready for that.
So part of what actually makes this game great for running is that most of the bosses have relatively consistent quick kill strategies like that. So you don't actually need to spend a lot of time waiting around for, you know, really slow boss cycles and stuff.
And that's not a glitch. That's just like
No, I mean, there's a destroyable floor right there. Oh, try doing a fancy thing there. Another terrible thing about this game is large gaps. If you try to run and jump into them, you'll like only get it half the time. I think it's based on like subpixels or something. So like if you want to guarantee, you need to be like walking towards it. But what I do to guarantee to be able to get in, I'm gonna get these guys out of the way, is I do a dash like that and then an angle in. That guarantees that you will hit it every time. You'll see me doing that in a couple other spaces that I don't want to make sure that I don't get stuck on a one large gap like that. Anyway, yeah, the first kind of speedrun I saw was, and many people know about this, it was a tool-assisted run by a guy named Morimoto, who did a run of Super Mario Bros. 3 in something on the order of like 11 minutes. And at the time, it wasn't very well documented, at least amongst like English speakers, that it was actually a tool-assisted run. So everybody was just super impressed by like this person who everybody thought he was like playing in real time. He wasn't, but it was sort of... No, but the thing is, he wasn't even misadvertising it. It's just that like nobody sort of understood what TAS meant.
yeah.
And that kind of stuff. Yeah, and so I tried doing that, and I failed miserably because it's super hard to play Super Mario Bros. 3 fast. But I sort of became interested in it, and in particular, I was also, at the same time, I watched, there was also a run, the Super Mario 64 run, which I thought, like, at first I thought, oh, you can only run games fast if they're, like, 2D games like that, and then I realized, no, all kinds of games can be run quickly. And so I tried to, like, figure out kinds of games that I like, but that can be run. And since then, I've just kind of, you know, dabbled around a bit with it. Anyway, brief discussion about what makes this game great is movement options. So before this, you saw me using, like, the wing ability, which has sort of the weird dive bomb-y type moves and stuff. This is Jet. This is another really good one.
What was that?
Yeah, Kirby is a kind of a murderous monster.
So great.
Jet. Jet is probably the best overall movement ability in the game, because you move so quickly, like, horizontally with it. So generally speaking, most of the run is going to be using either wing or jet to move fast. Yeah, and it's just kind of like, it's... Oh, I should have hit a split there. I'm really bad at hitting splits. I haven't been practicing doing that. I've just been kind of practicing the various tech and stuff. But yeah, it's...
Should I do it? You can just tell me.
Okay, sure. But yeah, so what makes this game great is, yeah, all the different ways that you can kind of move around fast and kind of play the game in a way that is of higher skill. Because basically the easiest way to play Kirby is to just walk slowly and inhale every enemy. But that's kind of boring. So more or less everything that you do in this game to go faster puts you at a significant amount more risk than just playing the game normally, which makes it a great game because then people think, oh, whatever, Kirby, it's just an easy game for kids, and then you watch a speedrun, and then I messed that up because I'm terrible. And you can see all kinds of like weird, interesting tricks you can do to go faster. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily need to explain why speedrunning is fun and cool to watch. Like, it's, you know, display of skill and fun stuff, but certain games are more conducive to it than others. And what makes this game really nice, I think, is just the variety of skills and stuff you can do to go fast. Yeah.
How many times have you played this?
Like this particular run or this game, or?
Well, to do a speed run, like how many times would you say you have to play a game to know every little, you know?
I messed that up. There was going to be a quick kill there where if you use this ability, it insta-kills most mid-bosses.
Oh.
But,
I mean, that did enough damage on myself.
But it's not fast enough.
it's not fast enough. I was supposed to pre-charge it, jump in, and then as he's spawning...
Do I split? Do I
do a
press
jump.
button?
No.
I just want to press the button.
What are you doing to his dead body? Why is he...
So you have to actually get rid of the mid-boss before the game lets you proceed, and so that's the fastest way is to do a grab attack, which is you walk up to the enemy, press Y, and then up. Yeah. And yeah, so this game is full of all kinds of like sort of small little bits and pieces of tech that you don't need to do to play the game, and it doesn't need to be there for the game to be fun. But because it's there, there's lots of different options to make the speedrun interesting.
Yeah. Also, we found out that Some Guy 16 is the 16th Some Guy.
Oh.
See, I told you.
Yes.
I was right.
Culver's saying that there's a Metroid... In Great Cave Offense, there's a Metroidvania-ish mode where you can find treasure.
Yeah, that's what I'm playing here.
Yes, and that's
This,
what you're doing, right?
This is, in a lot of ways, was the inspiration for a later game, which was Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, which kind of takes this concept to the extreme. I don't think it's quite as interesting a game to run, though, because they took out a lot of the interesting movement options from this game. Like, I don't even think the jet ability exists in that game. And wheel is also kind of nerfed in that game. Which is kind of a shame, because yeah, what makes this game fun is just because you can like move a lot faster than Kirby is normally supposed to. Oops.
We also have a question
Yes.
from Jesse. As someone in the speedrunning community, were any of the developers of these older games even aware that their games would be played this way while they were making them?
I don't know if this way necessarily, but like in terms of like quick kills on certain bosses, it seems fairly clear to me that they knew that that would be an option, because like there was a destroyable floor under that boss that I killed there, and like the other bosses that I killed with the mega jump, like they had to set those damage values at some point. So if nothing else, I think that kind of a general rule with speedrunning games is that good games tend to be good games to speedrun anyways, just because they... Oh my goodness, okay.
He stole your stuff. He
Yeah.
stole your stuff. He stole your stuff.
Yeah. I was,
How far?
Filthy Luca.
Oh, we can't really get it.
Oh, man!
Oh no!
What a jerk. Okay. How do I recover from that?
Paul also wants to know if you're going to teach me and Cindy how to do a part of this run.
You can if you want to.
What would be an easy thing to teach, I guess?
I could try to teach you, like, of this run specifically, or just this game?
This. We said this run. Do part of this run. Any part, I guess.
Ooh, when did you get the thingy back?
I went to the thing. That's kind of a backup strat.
Oh.
I kind of have it set up so that I can't fail too hard, but, yeah, the...
Oh, you gotta
thieves
watch
are-
out for the Filthy Luca.
Yeah, whatever.
He's like... Paul says, I think Hal has always been aware of speedrunning in some way. Because of things Steven just mentioned, and also them actually adding time attack modes later into later Kirby games.
Yeah.
That makes sense, yeah.
I mean, even the arena mode in this game has a timer in it, so I mean, I don't know, it's not like there's, what? It's not like, you know, going fast has never been an idea that people had in games. I think it's just that
What?
the...
Whoa, whoa.
Oh, can you hit a split?
Oh my god.
I messed that up.
Oh, that's what you meant.
Yeah.
I was like, what is that?
Yeah, I thought you meant in the game.
I was
You
like,
immediately
in the
start.
game? I don't know. Can you? Oh, press the button. Was it the first button? The first.
Yeah, it was the first button.
Just
Um,
start pressing. What? You don't go to. You don't. Would you not want to press buttons if you went to like some, I don't know, control thing? You just be like.
Oh, and Paul's clarifying. He said it could be anything in this game, but more like he was wondering how would you go about teaching somebody how to speedrun if you had to teach somebody else.
So this game in particular, it's
Oh, you're greedy.
relatively methodical. Yeah.
Greediness points.
To be honest,
But like the main thing I would do is you'd start off by teaching like the various bits and pieces of tech that you can do in the game, like learning how to start running easily. Basically, the trick to running in this game is if you're in motion and then just release and press the button, you start running immediately. So just kind of like getting comfortable with like running and the fact that like when you jump, don't hit A again, especially if you don't have wing, because you lose all your momentum when you like inflate. But also like the fact that you can continue running from a dash jump and that there's a difference between running and jump, and just kind of like go through all the basic mechanics. Because like once you sort of understand the different mechanics that are at play, it kind of becomes a lot clearer how to string that kind of stuff together and go quickly in the game. Another fun technique with this one is the dive bomb attack causes you to go up a little bit, and you can cancel it by using the jump. So if you just repeat it over and over again, you can ascend really quickly. Which is actually the main reason why I want wing for this section, because there's a little bit of vertical climbing going to be going on in the next little section.
and he asks, are there any RNG moments in the speedrun?
Yeah, the boss that I just fought, basically whether or not the enemy goes first or I do is random, and it can make it go slow. I failed at the boss completely anyway, so it didn't really matter. But that is one example of randomness. Just how the enemies spawn and whether they're going to like do an attack right away when they come on screen, also random. This is like the worst room in the game. If you touch any of these, you lose your power and go to sleep for like 4 seconds.
Oh.
So I need to actually be very careful.
Okay, no time.
There we go. Yeah. No, that's quite the butt clenchy moment there. Okay, let's see if I can do this.
Oh my god.
Whoops. Oh no! Did I? There we go. That was bad. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah. Where the rock is at that point there was random.
What are these items?
Just random crap.
Do you use them for anything? Like,
Yeah,
in
do you
the
sell
game?
them?
No, it's just you want to collect all of them to be awesome.
Oh.
So the category that I'm running in this game is 100%. In general, for speedruns, most games will usually have 3 categories to them. There'll be any percent where you just try to get to the end credits as fast as possible. 100% where you try to like collect all of the items in the game, whatever that ends up meaning.
Right.
And then low percent, which usually is any percent for most games. Like there's no real distinction between them. But in some cases, it can be an example of games where it would be faster to collect more items, but you do so without collecting anything. So in the case of this game, you could potentially call low percent being never collect a power-up or something. What I'm doing here is I'm actually setting up a save warp. This is the next boss screen here, and the game sets a flag that that's where you will spawn if you die if you enter a boss screen. But I don't want to go there yet because I need to go into a bit of a dead end room first and collect some more treasures, and then I'll actually be doing a death warp to go back there once I'm done.
Oh.
And yeah, death warping is a very important part of speedrunning.
Metal band.
And yeah, more on the topic of like Kirby's movement abilities there. If you saw, I was actually damaging and attacking enemies. Oh man, I need that rock. Also, my bird is getting bodied. Unfortunately, the bird AI is,
What would you just do?
Yeah, what's happening here?
Okay, unfortunately, the bird AI is, like, really, aggressive in this game. And it it gets itself killed very easily. That's an example of RNG where you have to like be very careful about how you manipulate how it moves. Unfortunately, he just wasted me a lot of time since I have to go back and grab the rock power up again.
Oh, because of the bird.
Because basically the section that I'm in right now, I need actually a combination of 2 powers. I need both a cutting power and either rock or hammer in order to get past a section up ahead. So that's kind of why I have this weird setup here. Oh yeah, another bit of tech. Team bounce.
Oh!
If you just press up when you're above your partner, you'll do a bounce like that.
Oh, wow.
So would it be helpful if it wasn't the CPU and it was an actual person?
It was, and in fact, you can play this game 2-player. If somebody wants to pick up the second controller and start playing, they can.
Oh, but I don't want you to lose.
Well, you can't possibly be doing any worse than the CPU.
Okay.
Stuck up the water.
Alright.
But yeah, like I was saying, the movement
Do I
mechanics...
have to press a button or anything?
Huh?
Button.
No, I'll keep it moving. You press start? Press start again?
There, 2 keys.
Okay. What are the buttons?
Yeah, you can figure it out. It's Kirby.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've ever played any Kirby games.
Well, I was just gonna ask, so Casiano says this is my favorite Kirby game, so what are your guys' favorite Kirby games?
Right here.
Right here?
Yeah.
I've never played a Kirby game. Oh, here, I'm coming.
How
I'm
have you
helping.
never played a Kirby game?
I don't know.
Okay, what I need you to do is press Y so you can cut that wire. And then I have to use rock there. So you need to have both a helper and a person doing that.
Did I just die?
No, you just
Okay.
you switched
Oh no, I
abilities
don't
to
want
mirror.
to do that. What's
Yeah.
that?
Huh? Basically, whenever a helper touches one of those little statue things,
Okay.
they immediately change to that type. Alright.
Oh no, I'm that thing now.
Oh, well, I guess you can help me out.
Okay.
I would recommend switching to plasma. Can you jump up
This
and...
one?
Yeah. Okay,
Ooh.
so if you tap the directions on that, does it work?
What am I doing?
Yeah, so when you tap directions, you charge up, and you see you have like a little
Ooh,
thing
yes,
around you,
yes,
and
yes,
if you
yes.
press it, now, press Y,
Oh, what?
you'll shoot like a stronger thing depending on how charged up you are. Like you're building up static energy. Like,
Paul, I've definitely played Kirby.
so like here,
Just to
when I
be
can do
fair.
this, I can shoot like a big thing like that if I like
Okay.
mash like that.
So do I just mash it and then I just get
Yeah.
super?
Yeah, you get
staticky?
supercharged and then hit the
Oh,
boss.
that is me. I'm a staticky all the time.
That's true.
Oh
What is that?
That's the boss.
That looks like that thing from Full Metal Alchemist.
no! No! Get
What
away from
thing?
me! Get away from me!
What is it, Envy? And it turns into its true form.
Oh yeah, I guess like the
Ah,
dragon
don't touch
form.
me.
So
Oh!
Oh, that was fast. I hit him like once.
He's
Oh no,
not
he's
dead
not
yet.
dead yet! No! Oh my god.
oh no, I just got
Ooh, Team Death. Andy asked Steven, what's your take on the DS version of Superstar?
It's good. It's only inferior because there are a few specific glitches that this version has that the other one doesn't. But
Oh.
otherwise, it's fine. There's no real reason to play one over the other.
Ooh. Oh my god! That's my voice. Just in the corner. I'm charging up! I'm charging up!
Paul says the DS version has more content.
It does, yeah.
Oh, it's too fast for me. Oh.
Inferior because devs fix the bugs.
It really is. Like, if you saw earlier, I did a thing where I dive bombed through a block, and as the blocks were disappearing, they temporarily lose collision. I was able to clip through a thing.
Oh.
That was fixed in the DS version, unfortunately. So yeah, it's just like, it's little small things like that, where it's like the game otherwise plays almost exactly the same. It's actually a really good port of the game, but for speedrunning, it's just, you know, just that little bit, you know, not quite that original, authentic, janky experience.
Say hi to Tyreek.
Hi,
Hello, Tyreek.
You're gonna play like
I play like this. I don't know what I'm doing.
You just changed into Jet.
Yeah.
Which is good, because that's actually the next ability that I need.
Okay. I mean, you go so fast. It just happened soon. Oh.
Sorry, Cindy.
I don't. Oh. Wait. Okay. So I can put this down now?
Yeah.
Do I have to press a button?
No, you're just out of it now.
No, I mean the button.
Huh?
The split button.
No.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Polar bear. Oh, that's a polar bear.
What did you think it was?
I don't know. It moved so fast when he killed it that I'd never be able to see.
I knew it was a bear. I was like, is he an exercise bear? It looked like he was wearing the green exercise headband.
Oh, that's good.
Anyway, that death was 100% not intentional.
Okay.
But,
You'll let us know when there's an intentional death.
yeah.
Mine was intentional. He ate me.
Is that intentional?
Yeah, that's an intentional death. He ate me.
And you wanted him to?
I wanted to, because I needed Jet.
He did, so...
Oh,
yeah.
right, Steven. Yeah.
Yeah, and part of what makes this interesting, too, is that there's actually a little bit of routing in how you play this this game, because you need different powers to get past certain things. So in this case here, I want Jet, so that I can open up this thing here. There we go. Using that.
Oh.
And then, yeah, Jet is like... Again, Jet is like the best movement ability in the game. It has tons of little things you can do to like go quick, so...
What is the most interesting tech of this run?
Probably this. I am skipping over a mid-boss trigger.
Alright then.
Autumn time.
And it's a heart.
What does that
What?
mean?
What kind of boss is
It's a dead boss.
Alright then.
Yeah, most interesting tech.
I really don't need to press the button? It's been a long time.
Maybe. Did you press a button after we beat the boss?
That boss?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, then you probably do.
So it's only after every boss.
Or before every boss. I don't know. I just set up random splits. Anyway, I realize now I took too many deaths. I'm supposed to do a death warp here. Also, can you get the metronome ready?
Yes. Tyreek is asking for getting 100% cave run offensive, but I don't think we are.
Yes, we are.
We are?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
What number did you get?
61.
61. Alright, on. Oh, I got it.
So what is this for?
Oh, now it's at 54. 16. Nope, 60. Damn it. Steven. So we're just getting a metronome set up. Oh, Paul says that's brilliant. That we're doing the metronome.
How do I start it?
Just pull it to a side anyway.
What is that supposed to do?
Ah, dang it.
Oh.
Anyway, what you can do with this, so the way that the roulette works is that when you suck in two enemies, you can turn it off. I'm just going to do the safety strat. You can, it starts a roulette that starts at a predefined location, and actually it ends at a predefined location. So that particular combination, which was Beam and Parasol, if you just let it run, will end on Mirror.
Oh, okay.
Now the next ability I need is technically Hammer, but you can use Mirror, and it's actually kind of cool how you can use it. But what I was trying to show off is you can also, if you figure out the frame timings and stuff, and I have some math here for like how to figure it out.
Oh, I wish we could show that. It's great.
You can like figure out how many ticks of a metronome you need to wait before you like start and end the roulette.
Show the audience. Show his
I
notes.
mean-
Show his notes.
And
So many notes.
so yeah. Anyway,
Interesting.
Oh, his notebook's in puzzles.
I used it for puzzles. Anyway, so normally for this screen, you're supposed to have Hammer or Rock to knock that thing in, and then it blows things up. But in order to make this safe for real-time runs, they figured out the closest mix ability that work. And in this case, it's mirror. So the ability in question is the dash ability with it. So the dash works by sort of splitting you off in the direction that you're currently dashing. So if you do it on the ground, you do it horizontal. If you do it in the air, you do it diagonally based on like your current velocity.
Yeah.
So if you do it and then are going down straight, your angle is down and you can go through the wall and hit the thing.
Look at all this math.
Yes. Steven's puzzle.
Oh, that's interesting.
A lot of the collision stuff is really interesting.
Mhm.
Like
It says use wing instead, and very, very like, underlined.
Yeah, this was me trying to figure out the route that I wanted to do for this run.
Wait, was that a boss? Did I press button?
No, that wasn't a boss.
Oh.
oh, we got a Hoshi no Kabi in Japanese.
The person is in Japanese?
Yeah. Well, the person's name is in.
Oh.
But Tyreek asks, "What's your best time on this run?"
I don't remember.
Oh, look at the sky.
Ooh.
Oh. What's your average? I mean, I guess what's your average time usually?
It's probably half an hour. I don't know. It's been a very long time since I've run this with any seriousness.
Just for the Great Cave Offensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the overall game, yeah, again, I never really ran this thing too seriously. I just kind of enjoyed figuring out the tech. This is another section where you need to use a helper ability, in this case fire, to launch that thing. But there is actually a frame and sub-pixel perfect trick where if you keep mirror through this section, you can do a similar trick where you use mirror to hit that bomb, because this is actually the same room that I was just in. But it is insanely difficult to hit. Like, I don't know if I could. Also, I believe there is a... Yeah. Grab that there because I'm about to do the death warp. Grab. Oh, whoops. There we go.
I mean, the items that you're getting are so random.
Yeah.
Rice bowl,
Mr. Saturn.
and then warrior shield.
Autumn something.
Was that one of them?
That was the
summertime,
hardest.
autumn time.
Autumn time.
Yeah, there's
Autumn
springtime,
time,
summertime,
summertime.
and autumn time, yeah.
What about wintertime?
I don't think there's a wintertime one.
What the hell? What happened to wintertime?
I don't know. Ask Cal.
Oh,
He
that
wasn't
one's
even
so
doing
cute.
anything.
Yeah, he was just
Why,
minding his
Steven?
own business.
Kirby's angry.
He's not doing anything. Oh, yeah. Alright, see?
Oh, yeah, there's wintertime. Yeah, this room is, I think, it was called, like, the Menagerie or something. It's almost impossible not to get hit in that, so that's another example of randomness that kind of is annoying in this run. Oh, dang it. That's a pretty tricky, thing to get there. The safer way is to get a full charge there, but if you just slip right, you can get that in there. Another thing that's great about this game is the fact that, like, it's relatively straightforward to just do a run and go through it. But there's tons of little micro-optimizations you can do throughout the run that make it go faster. And yeah, it's generally good when games have that, because it means that running the game is still generally accessible to most people. Like, you don't need to be super skilled in order to just do a run. But then there's a lot of stratification and a lot of, like, extra you can do to be faster every subsequent time that you play the game.
So how many times have you played this now?
In my life, many. But more recently, I only did, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 practice runs before this. I didn't have a lot of time to prep it.
Right.
But overall, I don't know, I'd probably run through this mode 40 or 50 times. But that's a very low number. Like, on average, a runner would probably run through their game something on the order of, like, 1,000, 2,000 times.
Even people that do, like, those Dark Souls runs and stuff?
Why wouldn't they?
Well,
I mean,
no, I'm just saying that's a lot of runs.
it is,
Which
but
could be a lot of hours.
it depends on how long the game is, obviously. And part of what makes this game good is it kind of hits the sweet spot for what the length of a good run is. In general, I think runs should be between 20 and 90 minutes for sort of optimal time. Because any longer and it becomes, you know, a second job. And the problem with shorter runs is they're great, but I find that they tend to be too micro-optimized in order to be, like, interesting for anybody other than the absolute elite to play it.
Right.
So like, yeah, learning how to play Super Mario Brothers 1. It's a 5-minute run, and people play that game. Whoops.
Ooh.
With you know, strategies that people would have like even a couple years ago thought were TAS only. I should probably actually explain what I mean by TAS. But okay, different types of speedrunning. There's the kind of running I'm doing now, which we generally refer to as real-time running. But then there's also running where people use emulators and they use save states and frame advance.
So that'd be tool assisted?
Yeah. Oh, my helper isn't being too good here. Can somebody help me out here?
Yes.
Okay, can you fly up a little bit?
Oops.
You pressed X. Press X again.
I thought it said Ranma scale.
And just stay directly underneath me if you can.
Okay.
There. Normally Jet is good about flying up, but again, because he's a helper, he's kind of random in whether he can be
I don't
helpful or
even
not.
have to press it, I just hold it.
The other neat thing about this game is that the helpers, generally speaking, follow the same patterns for their how they like move and attack as Kirby. Can you walk into the wheel thing? All right, so now I need to actually jump on you. No. There you go.
Oh,
Whoa!
wait, so who's controlling it right now?
No, actually, Cindy is controlling it,
Oh, okay.
but you're not going to be able to get there in time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
I forgot what we were doing.
Actually, and I should probably just...
Eat me
Yeah.
again?
Oops.
That is tight.
So yeah, the timing is such that you pretty much have to be using the wheelie rider for this section.
Yeah.
But it's
Even in the regular game?
in the regular game.
Like, well, not speedrunning, I mean.
Yeah,
Like, if
yeah.
you weren't speedrunning, you'd
Yeah.
still have to do that.
That's why they have that ability power
okay.
sitting right there.
Mhm.
But it's good because the wheelie power is actually quite powerful. Not powerful, fast.
Powerful fast.
Yes. And so as a result, I will actually be using it for the rest of this run, pretty much.
Wait, you just think you're going to be using it for the rest of the run?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, I mean, there's not too much left. This is
Oh.
the last section of it.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, like I said, I mentioned 3 powers at the beginning: wing, jet, and wheel. Those are kind of your 3 main speedrunning powers in this game, just because they're all, you know, movement-based powers.
Mm-hmm.
And they make you go fast.
Mhm.
I'm only not picking it up here because this is just a cannon section mostly. Oops. Oh my
This
god, I am
Donkey
so
Kong.
bad.
Donkey Kong barrels. Oh yeah, so scooter wheeling and air ride is so cute. So it's called. Never played air ride.
Okay. So now I'm going to get this quick kill, damn it. Oh, I messed it up! Oh. You're supposed to basically land and then team jump off of the wheelie, and then you can one-hit kill him. I can't believe I missed both of them. It's so shameful. What's the next one? You know what? I'm just gonna... Actually, no, I shouldn't do that.
Did your partner just turn into a belt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on. New wheel. Anyway, normally the way you're supposed to quick kill that that boss, oh, I need to get this guy out of there, is you land with the wheel, do a jump, and then team jump into him as he's spawning. I messed up the timing there, but...
Ooh, raccoon doll. Some of the stuff he gets pretty good. Some of the stuff questionable.
What's your least favorite Kirby game?
I don't have one?
Bears don't do anything to you, Steven. You just destroy them.
Look at them, they're crying. You drowned them.
But he
I
got a
may
shell
actually
whistle.
die here. Oh, good. Okay.
Oh. The AI is very aggressive.
The AI is really suicidal in this game. It's kind of a problem. Part of it is because I'm like hesitating to like explain stuff, and I just, oh my god, I should have. Mercifully, this game is quite forgiving, but yeah, this is kind of a shameful run here.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
Ooh, maybe I have a chance to actually show off the quick kill then.
Those things are terrible.
Oops. I am so bad at this. I'm old, don't have the reaction time.
Not your Stephen Prime anymore.
Anyway.
Did you used to do it like live in front of like on streams as well? Or...
I used to stream a little bit when I was running at AGQ. I can't believe I messed that up again.
I'm sorry, I asked you a question. I'll take responsibility.
No, it's fine. Anyway, I'm just gonna kill myself so I can show off this stupid thing because I'm frustrated right now, and it's a bad run anyways. Yeah, when I was doing runs for AGDQ, I would stream for like, you know, a couple months beforehand. But I was never really a regular streamer. Basically, I got into speedrunning right when I was like in college, and I didn't have time to like speedrun that often. So I was never really quite as intense as actual, you know, speedrunners nowadays. And I mean, it's kind of part of the reason why I stopped, is because it sort of felt like there was an expectation that you were sort of like always streaming. Okay, I suck apparently.
Okay.
But
Is it though?
Alright, Cindy will judge you, but...
I'm judging me. This is relatively shameful.
Just run over his boards. What other games would you do there?
So the first year I did Pokemon, which was a disaster.
Which one?
I think it was Pokemon Yellow that I ran.
You can speak on those Pokemon.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess I technically got that treasure already. Yeah, and in particular what I did is I did a run that,
Oh no, I forgot to press the split thing. You killed the boss, right?
Huh? No.
Oh, well, I pressed it.
Oh, it doesn't really matter that much. Specifically, I did a run where I did the glitch where you can get a level 100 Mew and just sort of obliterate the game, and then there's also like a walk through walls glitch. And then the second year I did, I believe, Psychonauts.
Oh, wow.
Which is actually a really fun game to run. It has a lot of interesting glitches and tech to it. The main issue I have is that the glitches and tech kind of trivialize the second half of the game. So like the opening of the game actually has a lot of interesting platforming challenges to it. But then the later part of the game is just, there's an ability that basically lets you fly. It wasn't intended by the developers, but you can basically just fly. Yeah.
Oh.
And it's, it kind of makes the second half of the game a little bit boring. Okay, I'm going to try a really hard trick here. Oh, okay. If you do a dash down and then go across, and just as the thing is like bouncing, you can, oh, whoops. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, whatever. Just as it's bouncing, you can get underneath it and then grab that chest, which saves you having to go around, but we're just going to do it the normal way.
Cindy Paul says that your switch is super far behind it.
Why is it not going down here? Anyway, if you want, you can control the other guy.
Here we go. My controller on the top. Yeah.
What was that?
Huh? No, that's the springs.
Oh.
I forgot to memorize what the ordering was. Okay, right, and then left, and then down.
Oops. Whoa, Triforce.
Yeah, the treasures in this game are random. Anyway, so we are now at the final boss,
Oh, right.
and I'm gonna ask that we trade. If you press Y, you'll shoot a thing. Yeah, just do that.
I'm helping.
What?
Oh.
It's like
My
some,
timing is way off.
some free bongo bongo stuff.
There we go. Oops. Jump on the wheel thing. There we go. This is a fun thing you can do to make it faster if you have a second controller
That
handy.
was the final boss?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, press button, right? Yeah.
Well,
Nope,
no.
nope. Oh, what? Too late to press.
Yeah, it doesn't really
I just
matter.
wanna press the button.
Yeah, and so that's pretty much the end of it.
That's
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. It's just a short little game.
Look at the little art of him on the wheelie.
Oh,
So good.
it's pretty good. Remember when I said if you have wheels, you go extra fast?
Oh, I need you to
Okay,
press A
It's actually true in this game.
and touch the star. There we go. Anyway.
It's true.
No, just no.
I have no idea where the splits are, but normally you would hit split here. Anyway, yeah, so that is a 100% run. Obviously, lots of rust and mistakes on it. I only had a couple chances to practice it, but hopefully giving a good idea of kind of what makes this game a cool game to run. Yeah, the really good movement abilities, I think, is key for making this game fun to run, because just sort of basic Kirby is kind of slow and pokey, but you can use the abilities which add a certain amount of risk, because it requires you to like move in harm's way a lot more, but you move a lot faster, so that kind of like risk-reward thing is good. Just generally lots of variety in the area and the enemies and abilities is always a good thing. It's not too long, which means that you can kind of play it a lot and it doesn't have to be a second job. Yeah, the boss quick kills especially make it good for running, because you don't have to spend time sort of tediously wearing down bosses unless you suck and miss every quick kill.
Falcon helmet. Oh my god. These items are great.
Yeah, and so yeah, I don't know, just kind of wanted to share a fun speedrunning game that, I don't know, hopefully you can think about that.
So if you're a
Sure.
full-time speedrunner,
Yeah.
you can't work.
Well, you can, it's just that, like, some people do just make money off of their stream, and that's how they get their income. I'm using second job a little bit, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Facetiously. Like, it's just that, like, in order to run a game well, you're competing against people who probably have a lot more free time than you, so it ends up being a little bit difficult to keep up with all the tech when you kind of need to be, like, on chat all the time, listening to when people discover a new glitch or a new strategy or stuff like that, so it's tough to keep up, but I don't know, it's just a fun thing to do as a bit of a hobby. It's with the rise of streaming, it's become more common for people to do it very often or have it as their, you know, quote unquote day job, or at least, you know, spend significant portions of their time doing it. But it used to be a lot more that, like, you would pick up a game, learn it, make a run of it, post a video, and then you were sort of done with it. Whereas nowadays people are more like, I am a blank runner, and that's their identity, and they continue doing that for years and years.
Oh.
So, yeah. I guess open up to, like, questions and stuff that was ill-explained or stuff.
Pete says Kirby is a bit violent for my taste. And Paul wants you to teach.
Time to teach? Okay, fine. Sure. Let's do some basic teaching then. So, Yeah, who wants to learn?
Sure.
Okay. So, just start a new game.
I've never played Kirby.
The same one?
Yeah, yeah.
I've never played Kirby before.
You just played now.
Yeah, but...
New game, yeah. And first day. Just say no. We're gonna be skipping.
Oh, whoops.
Press start. Press start.
You feel.
Okay, so the first thing is learning how to run.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that's it. But the important thing to keep in mind is when you're walking and you want to start running, all you need to do is press and release.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's very like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then also note that if you run and then jump, you don't need to start running again. You maintain dashing through a
Oh
jump.
yeah, you just hold it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's part one. Go through the door.
Oh, but you don't maintain the run if you turn around.
No, yeah. All right.
Paul wants me to play Kirby so he can talk to someone about it. I didn't make that question sheet full of Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, okay. Well, I press a button.
So yeah, generally speaking, once you've collected an enemy, when you press A, it releases them as a helper.
Oh, look at his hair.
Which, generally speaking, in a run you don't want to do because then that's a source of randomness.
Yes.
So for example, he just killed the guy who you want to use to open the next thing.
Alright, so how do I get rid of this?
So you
guy?
press A to turn him into a thing,
And then eat him.
Oh.
and then you can eat him.
With,
Y, yeah.
And then eat.
Okay.
So if you want to use this ability to open up the next thing, what you would do is run to the right, and punch that thing there.
Which thing?
The block.
But
That
I want
block
to do.
with the face
but
on
I-
it?
Oh, you just got eaten. But I want to do what you did. I want to do that thing where you collect the guy and then shoot it.
If you want to do that, then you need to get rid of the power you have.
Oh.
Ah! I keep pressing X.
Ah, you got rid of it. It's fine.
Oh god. Okay.
Okay, so if you want to do it the way I'm doing it, you gotta suck in the... Oh,
Suck in that
alligator.
guy.
Nope.
You
Whoops.
ate
You
him.
just ate him.
Damn it! Wait, let me
It's
go
okay.
back so he respawns.
In this game, whenever you go back and forth, yeah,
Okay.
enemies respawn, so...
Ah!
One-legged seagull
Okay.
wants to know.
Okay, so the
He's ready. He's primed and
Oh.
ready.
The visual marker I use is I stand just sort of at this tile break here, just before, a little bit back. And then aim this way, release it, and once it's off screen, move forward just a little bit.
Releases the Y, right?
Yeah.
Go, go, go.
You got
Yay! Oh, she got on her first try.
Oh
Yeah.
god!
you did better than I did. You're gonna want to get in the door at some point.
I got excited, okay?
So generally, the first rule for running this game is using Kirby's like float ability is slow and you should never use it.
Okay.
Always be on the ground running because that's
Running.
your fastest way of movement without an ability. So for example, here, what you would want to do is you want to double tap jump. That flower's gonna grab you.
Okay.
You just press start again.
Damn it! Wait. There we go.
Or X. X also pauses.
Oh, okay.
Kirby's
Kirby's gonna die. Kirby's.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Get out.
It's funny because you're playing this exactly the way that I was describing, like slow and safe,
Yeah, I know.
right?
I know. There we go.
Okay, so this guy out there.
Okay.
And so, to do this quickly, you would want to maintain a run through the whole thing.
Yeah.
So run, keep running, do a jump, and don't do the double jump.
Okay, just jump once?
Yeah. And part of speed running is you have to minimize the movements that you're doing, right?
Okay.
Because any excess stuff, especially doing the float, that cuts all your momentum. So just one jump over that, and then slide into that block. So just practice running across there and doing that. So
Okay.
run, jump, and then slide is down and B.
Oh, down and B. Okay.
Yeah.
So, this guy. Run, jump, wait, down and B?
Yep.
Oh!
Except you just actually blocked your path because you're not supposed to destroy that one.
Oh,
So you have to exit and re-enter this room if you want to get that chest.
let me go back into that hole. No, the hole's not there anymore. Where's my...
There's a door there that you can use.
Okay, so I have to go back.
Um,
Ugh.
Today we find out Chloe is a pro speedrunner. Yeah, I don't think that's true.
Okay, so
Sorry.
Was I not supposed to do that one? Hold on.
what I wanted to do is I wanted to sort of show you the way that you would practice in a speedrun. Because basically what you do is, like, practicing a speedrun is almost exactly like practicing a piece of music. You break it down, and you might want to kill that guy.
Oh my God.
You break it down into like small sections, and you practice running through it until you have its fluid, basically. So what I want you to do is like go up and around, and just before where that alligator is.
I'm so scared right now. Uh-huh.
Keep going to the left of the alligator.
Before
Can I kill the
You
alligator?
can kill the alligator first and then respawn him. So keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, now go. Now go. Move.
I was like, look.
Okay, let me try.
Okay, so basic mechanics: run and jump, and if you're holding forward, you maintain the run through the jump. I realize now sliding down in B, like that, and that's most of what you need to know.
Oops.
And yeah, if you are ever in that state, you want to release the air as quickly as possible so you can get back to moving fast again.
The down view.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna get all like scared now.
So here, you're gonna want to run, jump over this guy,
Oh, I see. Oh.
yeah, and then. So if an enemy is
supposed to
directly
eat it?
no, you're actually supposed to avoid it.
Oh. Okay. Oh.
Okay, well anyway, here you go up there, and you'll need to do a float attack there, and usually the trick is you want to hit him with it, so press Y to release the air on him. Other Y. It's okay, you don't need to worry about this section. Let's just try to do this section Chloe didn't get.
Yay!
Okay, so what you did there, if you notice, if you do a full jump, like jump up, and don't hit something on the way down.
Ah.
If you do a full jump,
Like
with-
hold it. Like
like-
hold the jump
Oh,
button.
we hold it.
well, actually,
Does that
this
make
game does not have variable
no,
jump height.
there's no.
Oh,
hold.
okay.
What I actually just want to show you here is just this. Oh no, it's only off of a dash, right? If you do a dash, you do an attack on your way down past a certain point.
Oh, okay.
And kind of knowing all the little bits and pieces of ways you can do damage. You can also do damage to most enemies just by jumping up into them.
Oh. Really?
Oh, right. Oh no, I ate him.
He'll respawn if you go off screen. Off there, maybe.
So yeah, just stand right before the tile break and then move forward. Yeah, you got it.
Woo! Oops.
Oh, you don't need to get that thing. You already got that treasure.
Oh, right.
Okay, now you get out of there. So the correct way to get out of that situation is to start a dash on top of that thing and then dash jump there and start a dashing right away. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to suck in the alligator.
Okay.
Destroy that block there.
This one. Why?
So what you're doing is you're trying to get at that chest there, right?
Mhm.
So you need to clear out the obstruction. So jump over that and then immediately dash through it.
Whoa.
So you want to dash through the last block on the
Yeah.
right, right?
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Okay.
Jump, dash.
Oh, how come we won't dash?
Well, because you need to be on the ground in order to dash.
Oh.
There you go.
There we go.
And because you did it off of a cliff, it was optimal because you didn't have the
now
slowdown
what
from
I
the
do?
end. Now you need to dash through the blocks. Sorry, like slide through the blocks.
Oh.
And the other thing is that you can interrupt your sliding animation by going off a cliff or by collecting a treasure. So if you pressed up, as soon as your collision was touching the treasure, you would immediately grab it.
How dare you? Ah.
So yeah, that's the first screen.
It's amazing. It took two people.
And then I guess we can discuss Wing, and then we can probably call it a day.
Okay.
So go into the next room.
Yes.
So, all right. So collect the bird here.
Oh, right, yes.
Down. Okay. So Wing's ability are
We're gonna die before.
okay. Just press Y to shoot feathers out.
I know he's following me. Why? Why?
You gotta fight back, Cindy. Here, I'll get you there quickly.
You're like, why is your throwing feathers into a wall? And then you run away from them and threw feathers in the other direction. You're like, why?
He wasn't supposed to follow me.
It was. Oh, it's so good. There you go.
Oops, I meant to try that way.
You just gave him a kick for no reason.
This is a jerk. Okay, so wing. Your basic abilities are you just fire feathers. Useless, never use it. If you dash,
You told me to use them.
yeah, because you needed to fight this guy.
You said they're useless.
Yeah, no, generally you don't want to use them, but that was the only ability we'd covered so far.
Oh.
If you're running and dashing, you'll do like a dash like this. So try that.
Oh.
Oh, that's another one of his abilities. I'll explain that later. You pressed X.
Was that like an uppercut? Okay.
Yeah.
What's dash again?
Well, like running like that, and then just press Y.
Get out of here, bird. Get out of here, bird.
They're gonna keep respawning every time you walk
Yeah.
off the screen.
Get out
So-
of here, bird.
Only go forwards.
What you're doing there is you're doing the shuttle loop attack. That's basically his grab attack. Generally, most of the abilities in this game are separated
Ah.
into standing
Ah.
abilities.
My bird!
So
You
good.
can suck it in, yeah. This is probably a safer place to do it here. Most of the abilities in this game are separated into standing abilities, dash abilities, and grab abilities. And so the bird's grab ability is the shuttle loop where you like uppercut the enemy and then do like a loop thing. Basically, it's based on how close you are to the enemy when you start doing it, and if you're holding the direction towards the enemy. And then the last thing for the wing ability is the bomb. So what I want you to do is I want you to try to stand equidistant between those two blocks.
Okay.
Now jump up and then press down and B. Down and Y, sorry, down and Y. Ah.
Oh.
So if you get it just right, you'll hit both switches at once. You need to be like a little bit off center so that when you dive bomb, you'll be exactly in the center.
Oh,
It's
close.
very precise.
No.
Maybe this one?
No, it's
It has to be a little off center.
yeah. This is actually a very, very tight window for where you can hit both of them.
Is it worth like for speedrunners? Is it worth doing it
No,
this way?
it basically what it is when you walk into the room, you're supposed to. Yeah, you got it. Nice. Basically, when you walk into the room, the strategy is that you do a slide off of here, and then you start dive bombing as soon as it's exactly the right lineup. And if you miss it, then you're just supposed to do one and then the other one. But yeah, so now let's see if you can.
Can you do the infinite line thing? Like where you just go.
Yeah, let's show that off.
I can do the sound effects for it.
I'm trying to do the shuttle loop. Anyway, okay, so basically what you need to do here is you need to chain doing a dive bomb and then cancel the dive bomb with a jump. So it's just holding Y, or holding down and pressing Y and then B while you're in the air. So like jump,
His face is so great.
jump, and then Y and down, and then as you're dive bombing, press B.
Oh!
Yep, that's it.
Yeah!
And that's the fastest way of ascending pretty much in the game. Yeah. So yeah, that's Kirby Super Star. Great cave offensive. It's a good speed game.
Would you ever want to program a game like this?
Absolutely.
Whoa.
In particular, I like the fact that there's a lot of variety in the different abilities. Like basically, every time you collect a new ability, you have a whole new move set of options that you need to like learn to use. But the game isn't complex in how it handles it, and it's also very nice because it actually tells you how to do all the stuff.
Oh! That's so much nice.
So yeah, the thing you were doing there was the toss, where if you're holding towards and Y near an enemy, you'll like do a toss, and then when they're tossed, you do the loop on to attack
that's
them.
what she did.
Yeah. And also, just sort of a minor note is the fact that the game distinguishes between when you're in the air walking normally, and when you're in the air dashing. So if you're in the air dashing, you do this move. Or if you go down, you do like sort of the angle bomb thing. Whereas if you're in the air without dashing, you'll just go straight down. So it's like, it's kind of cool because it means that you have different options to do in different situations, but you need to set it up by having dashed first in order to do that version of it. So you can't do it from a standstill, so you have to like kind of put yourself in harm's way by dashing towards an enemy in order to do kind of the more interesting diagonal bomb thing. So yeah, lots of different options like that.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
No other questions so far. Beyond that bird is kick-ass, and Paul's saying I'm loving this. Probably in reaction to me and Cindy learning.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I guess the general thing speedrunners say, if you want to learn the game, check out our Discord or something like that. I actually have no idea. I have no involvement with this community, but I'm sure there exists a Kirby Super Star running community. They probably know infinitely more than I do and are very ashamed that I'm showing off this game because I'm such a bad runner. But, yeah.
If you were to try and speedrun another Kirby game, that you haven't done before, what would you try?
That I haven't speedrun before or haven't played before?
I haven't speedrun before.
Haven't speedrun before. Dang, because the easy answer to that was Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. But, I haven't speedrun before.
Or haven't played before. That's probably a smaller list.
I don't know, there's so many Kirby games, it's hard to tell. In terms of not speedrunning before, but would like to try, actually Kirby 64 was pretty cool. But in terms of not having played, I actually want to play Star Allies. I own it, I just haven't gotten around to playing it yet.
I've heard very good things about that one.
But yeah, I don't know if there's a good speedrunning scene for it, but if it's anything like this, then it's good. If it has good movement abilities, then it's probably a good speedrunning game. But yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Steven, for showing us this. And we learned Cindy got to play her first Kirby game ever. And you got to watch us flail about. So that was great.
Yeah, it was really fun. Hopefully we can have you on again and you could do something different or, you know, let us see into your brain to how you play games.
Yeah. No, I'll see if I can like bring something else up to speed that's different than this. The game that I prefer running on Super Nintendo is Super Metroid, but that game is longer, harder, and like even more restrictive for people speedrunning it, and it's also less clear, you know, when you're explaining how things work and are cool and stuff. So, yeah, if I were to do another speedrun of something, I don't know.
Would you do a tool-assisted one?
I could show off tool-assisted speedrunning. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Great. Well,
no promises.
Look forward to it if it ever happens.
Yeah.
Guys.
Thanks for tuning in
Thank you so much.
and joining us on our couch adventures.
Couch co-op.
I think we need to have like the logo be like a couch with like rocket boosters behind it. Just be like, Marlon, get on it.
Yeah. Is there any other questions before we sign off?
Metroid Fusion is quicker than Super.
Yes, that is true. It's also a worse game.
Paul says, Steven, when are we making a game like this?
As soon as we're able to.
You hear that, Brian? You hear that? So, yeah.
As soon as we have a chance.
Yeah, well.
All right.
We'll see what the future holds.
Thank you, and we will see you next time.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.